Now, interestingly, you have sort of become, I don't know how to word it, but sort of the figurehead almost of the Tinnitus Society. Is it Tinnitus Society?
Yeah, British Tinnitus Association, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What drove you to do that? Because obviously as a DJ, your hearing is obviously important to you.
Well, my motivation is the fact that I've had tinnitus for the last 10 years.
Right.
And they just wrote me a sweet letter a couple of years ago saying, look, we're the BTA, we're a charity, we deal with tinnitus. And, I think they'd spotted on Twitter or something like that, I'd said that I was a tinnitus sufferer, and they latched onto it and they said, look, if there's anything that you can do to help us, like, we'd be so grateful. And, I just rang them up, and one thing led to another, and then they made me ambassador, and now it's my job to raise awareness and to raise money for them. And awareness, I've pretty much done. I think there's, since I took over that kind of job, unpaid job, tinnitus awareness has multiplied, but they still need more money. I mean, I came up with that the Cage Against the Machine idea to do that, not the original idea, but to do the cover and to release a Christmas single of Silence, and that was one of the major beneficiaries of that was the BTA. So that's why I got involved. It's because I'll never hear Silence again.
Are you proud to have that role as ambassador? Does it fill you with a sense of pride?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, yeah. But it's more a necessity than a pride. It's less egotistical than that. It's because when I was growing up, without sounding patronising, but when I was your age and going to gigs, I thought that the ringing in my ears after the gig was part and parcel of the gig, and there was nobody there to tell me that I could get permanent brain damage just by doing that, having my ears bombarded by noise. So, I'd get a massive ringing in my ears from that first gig that I went to, Van Halen, to the last gig that I went to before I got tinnitus.
Anyway. Pass it over. Yeah. Sheet music coming through. Thank you. Alright, if you get to pass up a piece of the sheet music from the back, just memorise it. Pass it forward,
So when you're at gigs now, I mean, I've been told that if I carry on the same as you, but obviously I got told, if you keep doing this, because obviously it gets progressively worse and worse, the recovery time takes longer.
Yeah, one day it just never stops. That's what happens. Your ears just go, or your brain, in fact, goes, I've had enough, sod this, and then just goes, boo, or brrr, or ah, or whatever it is. And there's some horrible noises that people get. Yeah. And it's really serious. 1 in 10 people in the UK get it. Obviously it's the most, like masses of musicians get it. The majority of drummers get it. Somehow Paul from Pendulum has managed to avoid it. I think he's genetically immune or something like that. But, it's almost an inevitability for a kind of gigging musician and for any DJ worth their salt that's busy. It's going to happen to you. So, now you can make an informed choice because you're aware, because me and people like me have been sort of spreading the awareness. But my point is that when I was a kid, I didn't have that choice. I just had no knowledge of it. So I'm just spreading the knowledge so that people can make an informed decision and they can protect themselves because they know that they need to. And they can make that choice, like smoking a cigarette. The government spends a lot of money making sure that you're aware. Absolutely. So, you light it up, you light up that cigarette with full knowledge. I just want people to and I want the government to put some money into research because we still need to find out what it is. We still don't know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
All we know is that it's not an ear issue; it's a brain issue. Scarily, it's brain damage is what it is. And once the government realises that, then hopefully we get some money for research.
So when you're doing your gigs and when you go to gigs, whether you're seeing them or actually performing them, what do you do to prevent that?
Oh, I have these brilliant things called ER15s. They are moulded, they're earplugs that are moulded to your own ear. And they are what's called, they have zero attenuation, which means, those squidgy yellow or pink ones that you put in your ear. They don't just take the volume down. They interfere with the different frequencies that are in music. So you're not hearing the music the way that it was intended for you to hear, the way that it was produced. So these special ones, actually, you can get, I say these special ones, mine cost 170 quid, but you can get them for 150 or, around about that. There are, those are the ones that are molded to your own ear. You can get ones for £9.99 that are non-attenuating. Yeah. There's a link on my Twitter that I just put up yesterday for, a pair of earplugs that are, they're not molded to your ear, but they don't interfere with the noise, with the music. You can still hear the boom of a kick drum, all those bottom frequencies. You can still hear the sizzle of a hi-hat. You can still hear everything. You can mix absolutely fine if you're a DJ. And when you go to a gig, it just they're called ER15s because they take down the decibel level by 15 decibels. So you can get 8s, you can get 15s, you can get 24s. Most DJs go for 15s. A lot of gig goers go for the 8s. Most drummers go for the 24s because, they're drummers like imagine. Every time you hit a snare, it's like a gunshot going off next to your ear.
Absolutely.
That's another thing, actually. A lot of people in the army, not just musicians, army, like a lot of guys in... we're going to get a shed load of people coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan with tinnitus.
Which is a shame, obviously, because... No one deserves to have it because it is horrible, isn't it, to not be able to hear sirens?
Yeah, and it's permanent as well. It just doesn't go away. It's if you protect yourself, it will get better. Not as in it's better. It'll just get a little bit sort of easier to deal with, and you in your own mind you become kind of more used to it, and you have these different ways of thinking of something else, basically, forgetting about it.
Yeah.